Yo, 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 what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back welcoming you to Noids on Culture. Stormybman and my man Drew Titan. We are here with the second outing for this show where we get a chance to talk about the culture of everything from films, books, art. We cover it all here, but right now, this evening, we are on the franchise and why we love it. So I want to give a shout out to everybody that decided to come in and check us out for this evening's show. We are nerds at heart. Sometimes when we start talking about this particular type of content and fare, it's kind of the thing that helps to keep us going, keep us even motivated out here when we're looking to enjoy ourselves in our private lives and whatnot. So, with no further ado, I'm here. You guys, you get a chance to see me out here this evening, and my man Drew Titan is joining me. What's good with you, Drew? How you doing, man?
I'm ready to get my nerd on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It is funny too because we talk about these things, like you and I, we talk behind the scenes and we geek out on a lot of this fare, but uh it's amazing. Like I usually, before the pandemic, I would go to Comic Con here in Illinois, every year. And that's where I would get some of my books. That's where I would get, some of my posters because I like to adorn my little media room with posters. And I found out a pretty cool thing to do. I started framing my artwork. Some is framed in plastic, those hard plastic. You slip the posters inside, and then some are in picture frames. But I realized how I could do this and make it so much easier on myself. It's like once I get a couple of them, I can put them inside the same frame and just switch them out.
Switch them out,
bring one to the front. So I do that. So I change my room up a little bit and give it a different look from time to time with different artwork. But I didn't get a chance to go to Comic-Con last year, and for the obvious reasons, or in 2020, and that kind of hurt me because I like to do it, man. It's like, and sometimes I just walking around, but it's amazing to see how many people our age or older, man, dressed up in gear and everything. So it's like people get their nerd on.
Yeah, man, we're not alone.
Yeah.
We're not alone. I go to Comic-Con when it's in New York at the Jacob Javits Center. I got pictures, and like I told you, I draw.
Yeah.
And I forgot what year it is, and I got the pictures. But when I went there, I went to the artist section, and I met Jim Lee. I like nerded, and I met him by accident. What happened was he was doing an official signing, and I got there late, and I was like, fuck. So I took a picture of him sitting at the table. I said, well, that's as close I'm gonna get to Jim Lee today. So I was downstairs. I was talking with my friend, and who comes out the damn restroom? Jim Lee. He's like this big.
Yeah, little guy.
I said, oh shit, Jim. He said, hey, he took a picture with me. Nice guy. And the highlight of that whole trip, right? It was only a train ride for me, but I met Todd Mcfarlane. And he signed my Spawn issue #1. I have airtight sealed. He signed my Spawn #1, and I had a rare collector's item of Jason Wynn from the Spawn series. I had the toy, so I had to make a decision. So he signed Spawn #1, and then I went down to the artist strip. You can meet the artist, and he walks up right behind me, like 20 minutes later, taps me on the shoulder. I said, oh, Todd, yo, I meet my friend. He's over there. And my boy was looking around. He turned around and said, yo, look. And my boy looked like he wanted to cry, man, because this guy, these guys, they eventually left Marvel and went on to go do Image Comics, but these guys got me through the 90s, man. Todd McFarlane, Eric Lawson, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Will Spatasio, all those guys. So, yeah, I'm a big-time nerd. Big time.
Well, check this out. In 2017 at Comic-Con here, I happened upon the guy that was drawing Batman at the time. I can't think of his name right now, but seated right over from him was Neil Adams.
Oh,
Now, Neil Adams, for anybody that knows, his artwork was like, I can't. It's like his people were so chiseled and just they looked like models. You know what I'm saying? It was like, and no matter who he drew, whether it was Superman, it was Batman, it was Captain America, whoever. And when I was a little boy, my dad bought me the giant comic Superman versus Muhammad Ali.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And Neil Adams did the artwork for it. And on the cover, front and back, because it was the kind of book like if you opened the front and back page and looked at the artwork, it was a picture of Ali and Superman in the ring, but all of the people that were watching the fight, and the fight took place in space, in the galaxy, right? So you saw all these different characters. You saw Star Wars characters. You saw famous actors and actresses. There was some of everybody seated ringside. And I didn't have my issue with me, but he had an issue there. And I was like, man, if I would have had my issue with me, I could have, you know, because I still have it at home here, you know, I never got rid of it. But then I saw something that I hadn't ever seen him do before. And I purchased it and had him sign it for me. He had an art lithograph that he did of Bruce Lee.
Wow.
Yeah. He did an art lithograph of Bruce Lee, some familiar poses, and taken from shots that I was very familiar with, because in the early to mid 70s, there were magazines like Black Belt that by Uhura Publications that used to put these issues out with Bruce Lee on the cover all the time. A lot of them were like Enter the Dragon, behind the scenes shots and stuff like that. But several of his images he made in a collage, and I purchased that and he signed it for me. I've got it on my wall. But Neil Adams is awesome, man. And then I also had a chance to meet Alex Ross. And
Alex Ross.
Alex Ross, his artwork is like
out of this world.
Yeah. His famous photo of the Justice League, and then like the one of the Marvel guys too, you know, where he did it like a
yeah.
That was awesome. And I love the fact that when Zack Snyder did his Justice League film, he took an image of them like that, like the Alex Ross shot.
Yeah.
Man, that was so cool of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder is like us. He's a straight up beast.
He really appreciates. You could tell he's a fan. He grew up in it. And for those of you that don't know who Alex Ross is, you can YouTube him. He has a YouTube channel. He draws comic books and stuff of that nature, but he makes them look realistic.
Yes, sir.
Paintings, he paints it all himself. Alex Ross has a YouTube channel, and he is awesome. That's another guy I wanted to meet.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's another guy I wanted to meet, but when I got to that Comic-Con, he had already packed up and left.
Okay.
I was like, damn, because he had another engagement. Damn, man. But that guy's so good, man. He's so good.
Yeah. An awesome artist, man. Now, I'm going to share something with you that I hadn't shared. I hear you talk about that you draw all the time. You know, I hear you, not all the time, but I've heard you say that several times. I draw too. That's my real talent. I'm an artist. I have some of my work hanging in the house, you know, but one of these days I'm gonna take some time out and bring something where I can show it on camera, where show some of my artwork. I did this tremendous shot of Holyfield knocking out Buster Douglas, and I used charcoal and pastel. And then I did one of Mike Tyson knocking out just before he knocked out Michael Spinks. So, and that was done in oil pastel. So, you know, and dude, it's like photographic. That was some of my best art. And I heard you say something in talking about your art, and I was like, damn, he feels the same way I feel. I was going to try to go into that field, But dude, I can't prostitute my artwork. I can't
Mhm.
I can't do it for a living. I like to
Right.
do it for creativity. You can't pay me a job to do artwork for somebody on a regular basis. I can't do that. That's not how my creativity works.
That's
And it's
right.
very spontaneous. You know, I can think of something and sit down and boom, next thing you know, I'm going off into a zone with it.
Right.
But I just can't sit down. And there was a time, there was a small comic book company here in the Chicagoland area. I actually took a portfolio in there and went to try to see if I could, sniff around, see if they'd hire me to be a colorist or something like that. But when I walked into the offices, Drew, it was like, and this was, I want to say, circa 1986.
Mm.
Um, Everybody in there, especially the guys, all had broke wrists,
Okay, I know what you're saying. I know
you
exactly
know,
what you're saying.
and it's
Mhm.
like I didn't fit, even
Mhm.
though my talent was right there with, and they gave me an assignment. They said, "Hey, can you take these pages and color them for us and bring them back in, and we'll review them and stuff like that." But I knew that they were just buffering me off, and that was fine because the feeling was mutual. And that company didn't last in Chicago much longer after that. It was here for maybe about 2 years, and then they were out of here. I don't know if it's folded completely or if they just, relocated. But I was like, yeah, these guys just didn't want me, but that's okay,
Yeah, it's all right.
But I've done so many different things, with my own artwork, and I enjoy doing it. But I just thought I would share that because I never mentioned that to you, that I'm an artist too. And I've been drawing ever since I was a little kid. Some of the first things I drew on a piece of paper or whatever is when I came home from seeing the movie Black Belt Jones.
Black
I was
Belt
drawing
Jones,
Jim. I
Jim
was
Kelly.
drawing Jim Kelly with his afro and the jogging suit he was wearing in there, and it was funny. My mom and dad was putting my artwork on the refrigerator. They were like, oh,
Mhm.
they was proud to show it off when people come over. It was looking just like the people. And they was like, how does he do that? He just sits there and thinks of stuff to draw and
Mhm.
just puts it on pencil to paper. And but the one thing, hindsight being 2020, and I look back on it, that I'm not saying it's their fault, but
Mhm.
my parents, what they didn't do was they never encouraged it. They
Mm.
they they never said, "Oh, we're gonna take you for lessons. We're gonna do this. We're gonna," they didn't build me that way. They just, of course, when I did some pieces, they would take it and hang it and stuff like that. But they never thought to be inspiring in that way. And I would say, if you know my own daughter, if she had that type of talent, I would have done that. You know what I mean? That try to cultivate that thing or whatever. But you know, that's just the one thing I think back on hindsight, because sometimes so many of us are gifted and we don't even know how to cultivate our gifts or have an avenue where someone can place us where we can grow with that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I get it from my father. He's not trained, um, but he just does it. I'm not trained, but I just do it. Um, my daughter has it, so I'm fishing around and asking her, is this something she wants to take to the next level? And she said, yeah, this is something I like doing. So I'm gonna see if this is something that she wants to like take to the next level. You don't want to force anybody, but and even later in life, I said, you know what, I could, I'd like to, if I get time to take a class in, human anatomy and showing how to draw it properly, you know, um, because everything I do is photographic, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
um, I guess that's why, my best work comes when I could just sit down and concentrate, because I kind of know which way muscles go and everything else. But I guess like that's something I'll consider, like when I retire officially from my day job. I could sit down and go take a class in Photoshop. Hell of a program. There's no way you can learn how to use Photoshop to your best potential without having a class. That is like an actual class, and you can take your artwork to the next level with that program. But yeah, I totally agree. One of the things why I didn't pursue a career in comic books was because, you know, meeting deadlines, and you got to chronically be creative, and you got to, you know, you literally in the house all day doing that damn thing, and you're worried about a boss breathing down your neck. It's a job.
Yeah.
And it won't be fun anymore. My best work comes when I'm drawing all day because I want to, not because I have to. You know,
Yep.
and I've put together some great stuff, man. It's just like, but I'm like, can I imagine if I had this is done on the 12th and it's the 11th, and I'm like, this is shit work. And let me tell you, people that know you, they'll be able to tell whether this is half-ass work. I could look at a comic book and tell when the artist was rushing towards the end of the goddamn book.
Yeah.
There's lines missing, and you know the color be off, and I'm like, you know, I could tell he rushed the last 10 panels. He rushed it. I can tell. You know, I got an eye for that. You know, so I totally feel you on that. Totally.
Yeah. So, you know, I just thought I would share that with you because I never got a chance to touch on that, and I feel even better that I shared it over the airwaves, that we talk about that, because there's another connection there that we have as creators. You know, that there's something about us at the core of being artists. You know, and that's why you can produce what you produce. I produce what I produce, and we can get a lot out of it. And I think people can connect to that too when they have that relative thing, you know, where they can relate to it. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into our subject for the evening. We're talking about the franchise and why we love them. And I brought a few clips with me to share for this evening, just for topic and being able to go over some things. And one of them I wanted to share is, like, when we talk about franchise, here's one that everybody is related to or can understand, that has turned into its own thing. But I got a little clip I want to share here. Let's take a look at this. I'm sure everybody will recognize this once they see it.
This franchise got out of control, man.
I know, right?
It's like, I don't even know if this was an actual, I don't even know if they meant to do it.
I don't think they did. I think they just, you know, it just grew and it got more preposterous as they went along.
Man, this thing, they had no idea this was going to grow a life of its own. They had no idea.
No idea at all.
This is yours, whether you win or lose. But if you win,
I done forgot Ja Rule was in this for a second.
You're gonna win. I'm gonna win.
You want to know how I knew this was going to do well?
What's that?
Because in New York, and particularly in the Bronx, in the Hunts Point section, they drag race over there.
Oh, okay.
Around this era, when this came out, when this movie came out, the precinct that patrolled that area was like, oh, damn. Because I know this movie's going to light a fire underneath all of those kids' ass, and they weren't lying. They were drag racing all over the Bronx over there, because it's like factories over there. And long, empty streets. And all they were doing was drag racing.
I got a 187 in Glendale. Cops are all over it, man. We're good to roll. I repeat, good to roll. All right. Let's race. Right.
And if you're a car person, this was right up your alley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the Grand Theft Auto and all of that stuff come right through this whole genre.
I remember seeing this scene. Nitro.
And when it came out, it was very entertaining because there was nothing like that prior, right?
Yep. At the time, Ja Rule was really hot on the radio.
Yeah.
So they picked him up and threw him in this film. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Shit. Oh, where they going? Nah, you look at him and I just shake my head, man.
Dom was a trip. And when you talk about franchises,
Oh, wow.
oh, that was all right. And you know
Damn
what was
shame.
cool about this too? They were all young back then, you know?
Yeah.
They too
Yeah.
old to be doing this stuff now.
What are you smiling about? Dude, I almost had you.
Almost.
Almost had me? You never had me. You never had your car. Granny shifting, not...
Wow.
That was fun to watch. That was fun to watch.
Damn, they took us off the air, bro.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You know why?
Why?
I think you may have ran too much of that clip.
Okay. Damn. There's a way I can restart, ain't it?
Back out. Wait. Go into the chat and tell them to hold on. You're gonna restart. Yeah, I think you played too much of that clip.
Yeah.
Hold up. Let me tell him.
I just typed it in there. Let's see. Yeah, somebody reported it or something.
I think what YouTube has, they got automatic shit that looks for shit like that.
It'll read if you play too much.
Yeah, they do it on all my when I play all the HBO clips.
Yeah.
Without, they stop my shit because I had to go in and the replay you won't see it. I had to clip it out.
Okay. Now, how should I do this as far as
All
restarting?
right, what you do is go back and highlight the whole title, right? And just start a new stream. Noise on Culture #2.
Okay.
Right. Then we're gonna back out of this because they're gonna kill this. Just back out of this, restart a whole new stream, and send me the link. We'll just pick it back up.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
I'll
and
do
make sure if
exactly
you're gonna play a clip, only play like a few seconds of it.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, so
All
go ahead, just send me another link.
Okay.